Welcome to the Barbados Today Morning News Update for Wednesday, November the 1st. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story at this hour, delays in starting large-scale tourism-related projects such as the $100 million Hyatt-centric resort are a source of particular worry for the island's central bank. In fact, when he delivered his economic review for the first 9 months of this year yesterday, the bank's acting governor, Cleviston Haynes, warned that such delays could put a spanner in the works with respect to projected growth even into next year. He said the impact of the fiscal measures announced in the government's 2017-2018 budget is expected to push up inflation this year and next year.
The measures are also anticipated to dampen expenditure, and growth is forecasted within the range of 1% to 1.5% for calendar years 2017 and 2018. However, the continued delay or the slow execution of large-scale tourism-related projects raises the possibility of slower than projected growth.
But in a strong response to the economic review, opposition leader Mia Mottley launched a vicious attack on the acting central bank governor's handling of the economy. A furious Mottley described as astonishing a 40% drop in foreign reserves to $354 million since September last year, and yet another hike in the debt. She contended that the acting governor had made no difference to the slide in the critical indices, calling on him to do his job as he ought to or resign. Mottley also urged Prime Minister Francis Stewart to do what is right by Barbados, that is, call the January elections now. In other news, industrial action is looming over the government service. General Secretary of the National Union of Public Workers, Roslyn Smith, yesterday warned of disruption across the public service in protest against what she says is government's failure to respond to its letters requesting a date for a meeting to restart salary and wages negotiations. Smith said the Ministry of the Civil Service had been given until yesterday to respond to the union's request, but that up to that time, nothing had been received. No details have been released about the threatened disruption.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Join us from November 16th to 19th, 2017 for the Barbados Food and Rum Festival, where acclaimed Barbadian chefs and mixologists are joined by Chef Jean-Georges of the US, Chef Tom Akins of the UK, Chef Chris De La Rosa of Canada to create dining experiences to delight the senses. Visit ticketpal.com and all TicketPal locations to get your tickets, and visit foodandrum.com for more information.
Welcome back with news from the region now. The Antigua and Barbuda Upper House has passed new legislation that will impose stricter penalties for firearm-related offenses. It will also make jail terms mandatory sentences for all gun-related offenses.
Leader of government business in the upper house, Senator Lennox Weston, says with the increase in gun-related activities, the government has moved to strengthen its crime-fighting capacity. Senator Weston says there has been a constant request for the general public who might have information relating to some of these crimes in the country to assist the police in solving these cases. He says law enforcers will use the full extent of the law in dealing with these criminals.
We have to make sure that all our criminals know once you do crime, you will die young and you will spend most of your youth in jail. That there is no benefit, because in the end they're doing it for benefit. Some for ego, small amount, some because they have deviant tendencies, but most are doing it for benefit.
Senator Weston says parents and community leaders have a responsibility to provide another layer of monitoring for young people to get them on the correct path.
And on the global front, increased security forces are now on the streets of New York following yesterday's terror attack that killed 8 people and injured about a dozen others. A driver in a rented pickup truck mowed down pedestrians and cyclists on a bike path alongside the Hudson River. But New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said the threat was now over after the attacker was shot dead by security forces.
The 29-year-old attacker, who reportedly shouted Allahu Akbar at the scene, was shot by police and is in custody.
Based on the information we have at this moment, this was an act of terror, and a particularly cowardly act of terror.
In a tweet, the police department added, quote, "The vehicle continued south, striking another vehicle. The suspect exited the vehicle displaying imitation firearms and was shot by NYPD." New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that for now, the threat was over.
There's no ongoing threat. There's no evidence of that at this time. You will see more security forces, but that's only because it's an abundance of caution and not a signal of anything else.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.